Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about the other videos? Another paid request. This time for Gia. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to do another versus Dog Soldiers versus the Dawn of the Dead 2004 remake. And I can see this comparison where they're both action horror movies with quite a bit of gunplay that are decently violent and was in the early 2000s. And both I do enjoy. I think both are a lot of fun. You just say, long story short, I would probably say Dog Soldiers. There's two things about Dawn of the Dead remake that I don't like that makes me put Dog Soldiers above it. I'll just say that now. Spoilers for who haven't seen these films. The two things I don't like about the Dawn of the Dead remake, although I did see it in the theater and had a lot of good time, and the original Dawn of the Dead is my favorite zombie film. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite films of all time. But the Dawn of the Dead remake I thought was a very fun popcorn action horror movie. Ving Rhames was a badass. I like some of the other characters. Was a Sarah Polly. I forget the guy's name, which he says that he sold TVs. I like a good chunk of the cast. Is got some nice style to it, especially the first 10 minutes. Like when the camera's on the Sarah's car and it's going through the neighborhood. Is that kind of way you just see all the carnage around, or the wide shot helicopter like shot that goes down and see one car topple over and crash to a gas station. I like the friendship between Ving Rhames and the gun shop owner. Zack Snyder, I definitely think it's his best movie. The two issues I have with it, the zombie baby and the very end of the film. I think the zombie baby was a stupid idea. Number one, there's CGI put into it where it just looks silly and goofy. And really, you could take that out. It doesn't really affect much of the story or plot of the movie. Where Mekhi Phifer, he doesn't want to tell anybody. But then really what happens is that someone comes upon, they shoot each other, they find the baby, they gotta kill it. The end. It just... I'm sure they put that in there to try to have something, number one, different from the original, try to make people shocked and, oh, aghast, but like I said, the zombie baby CGI going, it was more laughable than anything. And Mekhi Phifer, I liked in other movies. I thought it was a waste of his character to just have that. So I wasn't. That's not stuff I was really interested in terms of that movie. And number two, the way it ends, where throughout the end credits, you see that they lose gasoline on the boat. The motor's pretty much blown out. They land on an island, and the island's full of zombies. And you don't see them die, but you get the idea that they're all dead. And literally the song is, everybody dies, dies. And I'm sitting there going, I guess it wants to be nihilistic and showcase the idea that it's everywhere. There's really nowhere safe to go. I think George Romero had the right idea. In the original ending of the original Dawn of the Dead, he was going to have Tim Forey's character shoot himself, and the Galen Ross character, there's nothing left to live for, so there's a helicopter blade. She puts her head through it. And Romero's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to let these people live. I think that was a much better decision. This just makes it like... I mean, the whole world is already going crazy with the zombies, in this case, the fast running zombies. It just, to add that much one bit bummer just makes it so, okay, so these guys surviving, going through all this stuff in the mall was pointless. Because they get on a boat and they just all die on the island. Now, again, yeah, you don't see them die, to be fair, but they're running out of ammo, they can't get on the boat, where else they gonna go? I just don't. I don't think that was needed. I don't think that was really gave it merit, at least to me. So I disagree with that choice. And that kind of brings the film down a few notches for me. But Dawn of the Dead remake definitely has more of a budget to have more of a slick look compared to Dog Soldiers. And there's definitely a bit more style in Dawn of the Dead remake. There's Zack Snyder, the slow motion when Ving Rhames is pumping the shotgun, among other stuff. They have a bit more budget to show a gluttony of zombies and to pump up the action scenes, like having the swarm of zombies and throwing the gas tanks to shoot and make it explode to clear a path. I didn't know the way the first 10 minutes are shot. Dawn of the Dead is definitely helped by a bigger budget, a slick looking production, Zack Snyder hungry to showcase his talents and direction. So the way he sets up some shots, the way the color scheme, definitely beneficial and ambitious. But in Dog Soldiers, I do commend what they had to work with on a low budget. And like I said, it could not come up with nearly as many slick looking shots and spectacle like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I think if those two issues were fixed, as well as a bit less CGI, because that's one thing is, at least Dog Soldiers, pretty much all practical, while Dawn of the Dead remake does showcase its share of CGI. This practical as well, but there are a lot of moments of CG in it. So at least Dog Soldiers, I appreciate that. It's also about two people trapped in one location. You definitely feel more of a claustrophobic feel in Dog Soldiers, because the lighting is a lot less, is a lot darker. It feels much more confined because it's just one farmhouse, while here you have a whole mall to explore. And it really does feel like everything's coming out of the woodwork in Dog Soldiers, and throughout it they have less and less space to fight. And also, I think the humor is more palatable in Dog Soldiers, while in the remake, maybe a bit more broad. Like the whole montage where you have that version of "Get down with this," someone gets shot, and then you have the song start, "Oh shit, come on, get down." It's like "Get down with the sickness," but it's sung by a guy that's like a lounge singer. Got you down with the sickness. And also, one thing that did not have, which was great in Dog Soldiers, was an annoying fucking lady fucking everything up by going after that goddamn dog. That's another thing that. Okay, so it's three things that pissed me off in Dawn of the Dead remake: the CGI zombie baby, the way it ends, and that fucking lady trying to get that fucking dog, which you could clearly see that the zombies were not going after the fucking dog, and she screwed things up and got the guy neighbor, the gun shop owner, killed, and then screwed everything up for everybody. I'm like, you fucking. So Dog Soldiers has less stuff that annoyed me. Dawn of the Dead is more slick looking, bigger production, bigger action set pieces, which is a benefit over Dog Soldiers. But Dog Soldiers has a lot less CG, has a lot more claustrophobic feel of being trapped in one setting, and has a lot less annoying stuff. There's no CGI baby werewolves. There's those stupid people that go out and fuck everything up because they need to go save the dog. And there's no downbeat nihilistic ending where everything's, Like, you already got a bummer in Dawn of the Dead when the guy had to stay behind and shoot himself. It's like, nope, let's add more salt to the wound. Nah. If it's for you, cool, it's not for me. But I still like both movies. Still enjoy both movies. But I would definitely give the win to Dog Soldiers for that. And like I said, I do commend it for what it was doing with a fraction of a budget. Dawn of the Dead had a big studio behind it. Because Universal saw, I think it was Universal, saw what Texas Chainsaw Massacre made in 2003. We'll put some money in it. Dawn Soldiers didn't have that budget. And didn't have that money. Didn't have that big studio behind it. So, I commend what he was able to do, Neil Marshall, with the low budget he had. If you gave him the budget Zack Snyder had Dawn of the Dead, then he could have made a hell of a grandiose werewolf film. But he didn't. So, he had what he had, and I thought it was pretty damn commendable. So, Dog Soldiers I would put above Dawn of the Dead for that reason as well. It's more impressive to me when you can make stuff work with a low budget, because you have less tools in your trade to utilize, but you're still able to make something pretty badass. That takes a lot more effort, a lot more work. So, I choose Dog Soldiers. But thanks once again, Gia. Really do appreciate it, man. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.